I am Helene and I am here to give you my spring/summer book haul. The reason why I have decided to entitle my book haul this way, the spring/summer book haul, is because most of the books are books that I consider good for reading during the spring or summer, because most of them are contemporaries. I don't know if you agree with me, but I know a lot of people like reading contemporary books during summer times. Anyway, let's just move on to the books. The first 3 books is a series, and it's not really a series I would consider contemporary, so this is not really part of my spring-summer reads. But I got them anyway, and that is this series by Liver Brave. A Great and Terrible Beauty, Rebel Angels, and The Sweet Far Thing. Now, I know this series is a little bit old. It's not the newest one that she has created, but I've had my eyes on these books for such a long time, and I decided to finally get them, and I am in love with them. I think they look so pretty. I really can't wait to get started on them. The next book is a book that I got through work, and it's not really a summer read either. It's not contemporary, but I got it anyway, and that is The Sense of an Ending by Julian. I read this book some years ago and I loved it. It was a library book, so I didn't own it. Now I do, because I have such an amazing job that gives me free books sometimes, and that is just amazing. This is about a man who looks back on his life and thinks about the things that he has been through. And it's brilliant. I loved it the first time I read it, and I'm definitely going to reread it very soon. Now let's finally move on to some of the contemporary books. The first one I got is My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. I've heard great things about this book. It is supposed to be brilliant, a great summer read, and that is why I got it. I decided to get it in paperback, even though most of my books are in hardback, but that's because whenever I read outside during spring or during summer, I like for my books to be in paperback. They are much easier to handle, and they are just nice summer reads. Nice, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's just easier for me to read outside with a paperback. I also got Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover, her newest book. This is actually going to be my first book by Colleen Hoover. I know I haven't read anything by her yet, even though people keep praising her. But at least now I have one of her books, and I'm very excited to get started. And the cool thing about this book is that it has a soundtrack that goes with it. So you can scan this code, and then whenever you hear about a song in the book, you just listen to the song as well. That is a brilliant idea, and I really can't wait to get started on this one as well. I also got Second Chance Summer by Matson. I already read this book and I absolutely loved it. This is one of the rare books that made me cry, actually. Even though it is a contemporary and it is a summer read, and I read it during spring, but it is a light read, it was just still so touching. And I'm going to talk more about this during my April wrap-up. That must be April wrap-up, yes, because I have some things to say about this book. And then the first hardback I have to show you is Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. Now, I already read this book because I wanted to read it for the Booksplosion in April, and I loved it. This is just a perfect book for me. It fits my personality so well. If you haven't read it, it's kind of hard to describe. I'm going to talk more about it during my April wrap-up. Right now, I just want to tell you this was really, really amazing. And even though it has a very girly cover, it has a very kick-ass content. Then I jumped on the wagon and got Just One Day by Gayle Forman. I really didn't want to get this one to begin with because I had heard mixed reviews about it, but I just decided to get it anyway because I heard Megan Olivier, she loved it. She kept saying that the trip to Paris that they go on is just amazing and magical, and I really love Paris, so I had to get this one as well. And now that I have it, I'm very happy that I bought it. Once again, a paperback, because I need to read this one outside. I'm so happy that I got this next book, because this is another book by Matson, and this is Amy and Roger's Epic Detour. And I read Second Chance Summer, the one I showed you just earlier. I loved it, so I'm so happy I have another book by Matson that I can just dive into. I've heard excellent things about this book as well, and I really love the cover. This cover just looks so appetizing. The next book is also a contemporary, but I decided to get this one in hardback. Don't ask me why, I just felt like it, so I did it. And that is Burn for Burn by Jenny Han. I have heard so many great things about Jenny Han's books, so I just had to get this one. I had to start somewhere and I decided to start with this one. It is beautiful and I don't really know too much about what it's about, but I believe it's something about some girlfriends coming together to create a plan or something. I'm not too sure, but I'm very stoked for this book as well. Then I got a new release and I'm very excited about this one, and that is Love Letters to the Dead by, who is it by? Ava DeLira. Yeah. This is about a girl who writes letters to dead famous people, and don't ask me why she does that. I believe it's something about discovering things about herself, or I don't know, I haven't read it yet, but I'm very excited to read it because so far I've only heard excellent things about this book as well. This is going to be a quick read. It's not as big as I thought it would be, but that's okay. Then we have arrived to the very last 3 books that I have bought, and that is this series. It is the Reckoning series by Kelley Armstrong. I think that's what it's called. We have The Reckoning, The Summoning, and The Awakening by Kelley Armstrong. This series comes before the Gathering series, which I bought last year, but I didn't know that back then. And I didn't want to start reading the Gathering series before having read these ones, so I decided to get them and I can finally start reading. Once again, a series that I've heard excellent things about. That is mostly the reason why I buy books, because I hear excellent things about them, and I'm very stoked to get started on this series as well. If you have any comments to the books that I've just shown you, please let me know down in the comments bar. I would very much like to know what you think of these books. I hope you liked this video, and I will be back again soon with another one. Happy reading and bye bye!